Well, Vice President Joe Biden made a campaign stop in Columbus today to talk about gun control.
He met with local survivors of gun violence, and he said he is prepared to stand up against the NRA to ban assault weapons and pass universal background checks. NBC4 reporter Ted Hart is live at Driving Park Community Center where the event took place. Ted?
Yeah, Joe Biden makes it clear that he is not against the Second Amendment, but he says that the amendment is not absolute. He says that victims of gun violence and survivors of gun violence deserve more from their elected officials than thoughts and prayers. Biden pointed to the mass shooting in Dayton and the unfulfilled promises for gun reform from President Trump and other leaders. He said grassroots efforts like those led by students from Parkland High School in Florida and groups like Moms Demand Action make it possible to stand up to the NRA and pass meaningful gun law reforms.
This movement isn't being led from Washington. It's growing up from the ground in your communities, just like this one, all across America. It can't be bought or influenced by gun manufacturers. It can't be swayed by the NRA.
And Biden also said that if elected president on day one, he would move to eliminate the special provision that exists protecting gun manufacturers from civil liability. Local for you and live on the East Side, Ted Hart, NBC4.
Thanks, Ted. And before that panel discussion on firearms, I met with the former vice president for an exclusive one-on-one interview. It was clear Biden and all the members of his staff were thinking about the coronavirus. No one was shaking hands, but we did have a very pointed political discussion. Give me a percentage, the chances that there would be a woman on the ticket with you.
Very high.
Joe Biden didn't want to give an exact percentage, saying the choice will come after the nomination is secure.
I can assure you one thing. My entire administration, a commitment from the cabinet to the White House staff to the vice presidency to the courts is going to look like America. And I mean it, across the board. Men, women, African Americans, Latino, it's going to look like America.
He is also promising trade agreements that would protect America's farmers and laborers.
I'm not going to sign any trade agreements, none at all, unless labor and environmentalists are at the table, period. And by the way, we have to join with our democratic partners around the world to lay down the ground rules for China. Absent that, going it alone, what happens? This, America First has made America alone.
One of the commercials that's running right now from the Bernie Sanders campaign is your voice taught, and the implication is that you would not support expansion of Social Security or Medicare. In fact, you might cut it. How do you react to that?
It's a lie, flat out. He knows it. PolitiFact said it was not true.
Biden promises to expand Social Security and Medicare and pay for that by eliminating the current tax break for wage earners over $130,000 a year. And as for questions about his age and mental faculties, if you would look at social media and certainly the Twitter feed of Donald Trump, they say, Joe Biden is old. Joe Biden seems confused. What do you want to say to Ohio voters about your mental acuity?
Watch. I can hardly wait to debate this guy that's in such great shape and such a stable genius. I can hardly wait.
NBC4 is getting you ready for Election Day with a special extended edition of NBC4's The Spectrum this coming Sunday. You can see my full interview with Joe Biden, hear from nearly a dozen candidates running for Congress here in Central Ohio, and our All-Star Roundtable will preview that busy election night. We hope you'll join us Sunday at 10, followed by Meet the Press at 11, all right here on NBC4.
Now, Storm Team 4 with Central Ohio's most accurate forecast.